A very warm welcome to our viewers. Here's another interesting episode. With me in the studio is Comrade Abdulkarim Yusuf Babanzaria, which we will look on the inside of students' struggle. Sir, this is nice having you.
Thank you very much.
Let's begin the conversation. Give us the sense of what you see, what is appears to be the inside of student and struggle.
Well, actually, whenever we look into student union, it is a semi-government like the outside politics that engage in today's life. In every country, we have a level of representation. Likewise, in terms of student, it was a system which was introduced in the early 1960s, which has different levels. Students in universities, college of education, and tertiary institutions have their own method of representation.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms of universities, we have the central bodies where it includes the SRCs and student union government, student representative councils and student union government. While in the college of education also, they also have the same pattern. So that is in terms of central body. We have representation in faculties, while in colleges or schools in terms of polytechnics and universities, federal college of education. We also have departmental leadership. So this is the beginning, as we have the president in the federal level, and in the state level we have the governor, and the local government level we have the chairman. Likewise, councillors in our respective wards. Likewise, in student unionisms. So, in terms of title, we called others honorable in terms of executive seat. Why we use the word comrade in terms of student struggle? It is just a literary meaning. It is a means whereby an individual represent a representative democracy, where a student represent who to lead their affairs in terms of the school and educational circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
So people usually misunderstand the term comrade.
Yeah.
They do see him like an undergraduate person, especially let me use the Hausa definition of a comrade, which they usually say dan talaka da karyan boko.
Yeah, it appears to be like that.
So firstly, I want to make some clarification about who a comrade is. For whoever seen to be paid a title of comrade is not an illiterate in terms of knowledge. He is an hardworking personnel who has
So you mean there is criteria for a person to be comrade? That has to be.
There are some criteria, yes. Not everybody deserves to be called a comrade. Even though he bears the title of comrade, there are some criteria that he has to undergo. Which firstly is their educational background.
Yeah,
if you can look, yes,
they have to be educated.
You have to be educated. If you can look in all universities and colleges of education in Nigeria, whenever a representative is being elected or is being contesting for a post, he has to present his academic result to qualify him. For example, the seat of presidency, an individual must have a minimum of 3 points and above, depending on the seat or depending on the constitutional criteria of that association or department or school. So, and however, an individual have to have experience. He have to have good manner, because you are representing a group of people. You have to exhibit a good representation of yourself and the people you are representing.
So you must be.
You have to have intelligence and you have experience in terms of the duty you are discharging. It is not easy to stand and speak on behalf of thousands or hundreds of students. Even in terms of class rep, a class rep represents his entire people. So it is not an easy task. Likewise, a comrade. So the main function of a comrade is that he serves as a microphone of the student or his representatives, the people he is representing. He speaks on their behalf. Whenever they need something, he speaks, because no one can move or confront anyone in need, but except through that representation.
Yeah, true.
So he is just a representative. He is the affairs of his fellow students. Likewise himself, because he is among them. But people do see him as if he have a selfish or a personal interest that he attains. We have many comrades in the world today that we are proud of.
Before we move, apologies to cut in. Who normally gives the name, the title of commemoration?
The title of commemoration.
Yeah,
others is being given by his colleagues.
Okay,
and why others is colleagues? Why other an individual may decide choose to use? But not every comrade is a comrade.
Some are nominal comrades.
Yes. We have level of comradeship. Mostly comrades have been elected or nominated. But the power of comrades being elected is more than that of being nominated or appointed. We have appointees, we have elected executive member of comradeship. So the power of an individual being elected supersedes that of being nominated, because they have a limited of what power and restriction. The way I will show my own commitment in terms of being elected differs from appointment. The person that has been elected will have to show the level of commitment to his own leadership, to his people who elected him, and he have to account for all things that he did on their behalf.
Is there any particular model for the comrade to be copied? For example, if you look at the comrade show, for example, he calls himself
a comrade. Indeed, Sheikh Usani is an example of a comrade, because one of our criteria is that we are role model, we are icons of truth. We are icons of no fear. We have to remove fear, biasness, irrespective of your religion, culture, and say the truth out. That's why you see Sheikh Usani, when he's saying things, he usually say it as if he's more into the system. I could remember there was a moment he stand up in the chamber saying the history of leadership.
Okay, when he was senator.
When he was a senator in the chamber, he stood up, given some criteria of leadership that we should not be taken away with the mountain of leadership. Then he quoted some names that deserved the country for some years, and today they were no more.
But apart from shoes,
we have a comrade that even does not bear that name, comrade.
Okay.
For example, Sunusi is one of them. Comrade Adams Oshimole is one of them. Comrade Chris Ngigi is one of them. But at times, there's a term that we call there is no gentleman in struggle. So he do prove that whenever he want to attain a mission or a goal, he remove the fear in him and confront that mission. That's why you see him battling with ASU and other unions. He showed no fear in terms of his policy, and he is strict on that terms and conditions.
But when it comes to ASU issue, it seems that the combination of Chris and
fail to show up, right? Yes. Yeah. There is
something different than the real definition of your combination.
That's what in my write-up early this year I said we can't be all eggs can be equal. He is in the government now. You can't be in a system criticizing the system. So maybe he's protecting the interest of that seat he's on.
That's why many people, it appears to them that this so-called comrade,
so
they have their vested interest, personal interest.
Yes. But when an individual vested an interest during an activities, I don't think he's representing his people. Likewise, there are some criteria and allegations bestowed upon us which we do accept. But what I believe is that whenever you are doing something good, you have to face challenges. So in that, we accept as challenges. Some people usually accuse of looting student fund. Yes, in student struggle, we do generate funds. That funds is made to develop that specific association with us,
to
sustain the association's activities. Yes, and there are some penny being associated to all office holders, which is just a time. But in a nutshell, as a comrade, we give a lot but take a little. From the definition of a leader by the late our father Yusuf Metamusul of Kano, he said, A leader is a person who give and not to take, who serve and not to what? Serve, and the rest. So, comrade in general is a true definition of leader because he serves his people even though there's much commitment. You see, in terms of student, we undergo our primary assignment, which is studies, and we take another secondary assignment, which is representative of fellow student. So, if we won't be encouraged, we should not be discouraged, because those forms of word used upon us is not an encouraging word to help us.
You made mention of Ambassador.
Yes.
Was he a comrade?
This is the father of comrades.
He's a
true father of Nigerian comrades, because when you take his life experience from his birth, from his introduction to leadership, he was among the youth ambassadors that engaged in politics in his early years. A one-time school teacher, a one-time ambassador, a one-time minister. So he's really true definition of comrade. Among his comradeship, if you can view his life, he ended up without having a house at that time. He was a minister. He had to borrow money from his members from the treasury to come back to his home after his service. He has no house at that time. He has no personal car. That's the true definition of comrade. But today, people are interested of seeing comrade having much houses through the looting of student fund, which is expected to be used for the development of those specific associations. But there are some things we are alleged that why are we wearing expensive clothes? So we are expected to be downgraded, or we should downgrade ourselves through dressing in an abnormal dressings. That we what did they expect we comrades should be? That we should be using dirty clothes, or since we are representing our fellow students, we should deprive ourselves from eating or enjoying such activities that every human being will need to enjoy. You see, people do see comrade that comrade has no money, or I do quote the Hausa word because they do catch crows last year during the fasting. It is comrade, whenever comrade is angry, he do speak in English for a long period of time. Yes, this is just as if a battle or a fire back to those having sword crows. Do you expect an illiterate to speak in English? I believe there is no way to speak or even fight for someone's right. So, in that, we are expected to speak and enjoy life the way they wish to enjoy. They said, "Akomarawa, talakawa ni kumasiyata ni." So they are trying to enter a portion of which they are not. It is not their own portion. It is all matter of.
So you mean there are supposed to be no harm for
comrades? Yes.
Want to be a little bit egoistic.
Yes, to enjoy his own life. There should not be a barrier. As far as we are comrades,
since it's just human being like
he is a fellow human being like everyone. He is just trying to help. I think if such words are used, it should just be a discourage. But from my own view, I just take it because, as I said in my introduction, you can never engage in activities that there will not be critics or someone should go against you. It is a noble life.
But apart from, you made mention of some Nigerian politicians and communists. Apart from them, is there any from outside Nigeria or those that live in the past? Example they are example of
comradeship. Even the late Nelson Mandela is also iconic. Is from South Africa. I don't want to mention much, but when you take the lifestyle of Nelson Mandela, he sacrificed his life for his people.
So if in that sense we can include Mahatma
Gandhi, yes, of India, right? He's also a comrade. These are people that sacrifice their life for their people. So in a nutshell, we comrades are also human beings like others. We sacrifice our time and our effort.
So you mean those people, even if they don't mention the title,
yes,
they are comrades in the heart.
Title is just a physical view. Much of comradeship is just a fancy. That name is just a fancy.
So comradeship is much more than
action. Yes, not mere name. just based
By
on actions.
actions.
Yes,
By
we do
actions.
use that word to recognize ourselves in the school environment.
For easy
Recognition,
recognition.
yes. But the real comrade, whenever when they progress, they remove the name or they allow the name for familiarization. With time, I think also my name will disappear from that comrade when I move more deeper to the struggle of student unionism and beyond.
So what of if, since comradeship happens to be in the institution like university, colleges and polytechnics, so what of if a person move further from universities or maybe enter
Well,
into something? Will he still be in comradeship in the heart and the comradeship as title?
when a true comrade continue to be a comrade to the end of his life, because as far as he graduates from the university or college of education, he have another life to face in his society. So today, I want to throw a challenge to all comrades in the world, not only in Nigeria. When you finish your own struggle in school, your community deserve and have a right upon you for you to display that leadership skills and comradeship skills toward development the community. That led to we, the youth of my forum, we created a forum which we named Ambassadors of Youth Achievers. That forum is strictly a forum of all youth thinking how to solve the problems, deciding about that our community, how to move our community forward. Even though in the school, the same thing we do in school is that to bring out the good in terms of our profession or in terms of our school, in terms of our faculty and the rest. So we owe that duty to come back to our respective community to organize a forum which will serve as the same forum of school, generate fund, uplift our community through organizing of programs. Like on my forum, it is a forum merely for youth, irrespective of your school. What we are after is what? Upgrading our community. How can we bring our community into today's standard? Today, life has been in social media. An individual have to be literate in terms of technology. We are planning to engage in skills acquisition in terms of having a first class knowledge in terms of technology. We are facing a threat of unemployment. Where, if you can remember, according to the discussion, a brief interview by the president, he made mention of that even though there is employment, the federal government don't have fund to finance the payment of salary. Even though they have the finance, there is no place for an individual to. So we are campaigning for an skills youth whereby it will be a tool for self-reliance.
So you live your life as comrade and you are called comrade. So is there any challenges?
There are many challenges. As I told you earlier, there is nothing that you undergo without challenges.
There are no challenges.
Firstly, we're running activities. Sincerely speaking, not all comrade has finance.
Yeah.
But we struggle, we engage in one thing or the other to get our funds, and we support our association or our organization with that fund. So funding is one of the problems we are facing. Secondly, cooperation and motivation, as I said.
So you mean comrades have the good intention?
We have intention.
They lack the financial wherewithal and how to generate the money.
Money is. It's not that we don't have the initiation of generating money. The way I inform you that the activities we have in mind, we can make a proposal. Some people around are willingly interested.
Well-wishers.
Yes, are interested to finance that program. But the problem is that you don't have assurance. Some of us have bad mind. That's why I told you that it's not all that we gather to become one. We can't be. We are all not in the same size. Some people have with their pure intention when it starts something very good, but interest will invade into the activities whereby money will be lost, so and that's how it becomes to the end of that program. That's why people usually abuse us or spoil the reputation we have that comrades are not sincere, they have their own personal interest and the rest, which is no good. Not everybody, we intentional in general, all comrades have pure intention and their mind is what their people they are representing, and they are after development and keeping history, good history in terms of the representation they made toward their own people.
So sometimes it appears that some people come to you as sheep, but inwardly are ravenous wolves.
They came as if a critic or a mocking in terms of mockery. People do ask us that we don't engage in religious knowledge. I gave back the answer that even to, including today today is Friday, we are on break. But as far as I'm concerned, every day I do engage in Islamic knowledge. I am a Muslim, and I believe not only Muslims are comrades. We have comrades that are Christian and others, and they also worship their Lord. Then why can we be comrades and we abandon our religion? Some people do allude that we do gather ladies. We are fans of ladies. We do have many girlfriends, which is not true. Ladies are very weak, and they have shyness.
You mean these are all allegations?
Yeah, challenges. Yes, these are challenges we face.
One of the challenges.
Ladies are weak and they are shy in terms of speaking to people. Yes.
Very difficult to express.
They find it difficult to express themselves. But when they trust an individual, they meet him and tell them their own problem.
So
which
as you said
we
earlier,
have
their mouthpiece.
We become mouthpiece, not only for ladies but the general public, the humanity we are representing.
So in a nutshell, the purpose of commemoration is to serve humanity.
Yes, this is our main focus. To be a mouthpiece, to be a channel that will bring the solutions to people's problem. But people take it other ways.
Because here in Nigeria, we have many institutions. Even inside, you have some college of education, institutions, universities, and we have communities there. So, is there any particular association you have for all communities to be gathered to discuss on issues regarding community and how to serve humanity?
Well, we don't have a general forum for general communities in the universities. But NANS is an umbrella, and we have access of NANS. For Zazzau, we have National Association of Zazzau. But the challenge we are facing is that we have retired comrades or senior comrades that it is a challenge upon them. We, the juniors, can exhibit a forum like that. But what impressed me is that we have a role model, comrade Hayat Mazadu, father of comrade, youth comrades in Zazzau and beyond, who usually draw youth and guide them in terms of activities. This is what we need, and comrades, whenever we need an activities or we are seen doing something bad or wrong, we deserve to be called and put on the right path. So we are not perfect, but comrade Hayat Mazadu is a role model that I am proud of knowing him, and I'm very proud to be.
What will you suggest for people? Do you suggest that the community or the people or the younger ones going should continue to take the title of community?
Yes.
So that
I think this should be a recap for me to say that for everyone living in an organization need a life of continuity. For every government will like it to be continued. So this is a call to all youth and aspiring comrades that comradeship is not a sitting down work, it's a work to serve the humanity, it's a work to give, it is a work to serve irrespective of your schedule and commitment. So come into the student unionism with pure mind and ready to dedicate yourself and selfless service to your fellow student and the community in general. But put it in mind, never forget your primary assignment, which is education. With education, we can move the society and the community in general. And likewise, do not forget, engage in any one of the skills within you to make yourself self-reliant, whereby we will not be facing the challenges of critics and abusive word by our fellows or people against us.
I'm sure our viewers find this dialogue very interesting, and this will give them an insight on how commercial is and what is the title mean, what does the title mean, and what is the responsibilities of a comrade. I think this is very interesting. You had me with Comrade Abdul Karim Yusuf Babanzaya. This interesting episode, I'm sure you enjoy it. Continue to be with us all the time with TV Online, the Voice of Humanity. Stay with us.